And we are joined by an old friend. It's Beau Levesque. Beau Levesque on campus here from 2009 to 2014.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. I think you were a junior my first year doing this, I think. So, Beau, it's great to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. It's funny. I always you actually become kind of popular out in St. John's right now because I told them about we have a media guy who's in charge of the media for St. Mary's who knows every mascot for every Division I team, and it's impressive. So you're known out there, even if you don't know it.
Well, I appreciate that. If anyone wants to quit, I'm ready.
I know you are.
One of my buddies, Anthony Aliotti, actually called me the other day with some guy that his friend works with, and we had a nice little
We
back
played
and forth.
against Tulane, and they're the Green Wave, and that's a kind of a strange one. And I was like, Jensen would have known it.
Yeah, I appreciate that one. I appreciate it. Well, hey, so you are out at St. John's now. You're a graduate assistant there, and we were just talking off air. Going to start your graduate program here coming up in
sports management.
It's
like a coaching and leadership specialization. So.
Okay. And now this whole thing kind of came about late. Now, you were playing last season overseas. How did this job come about? How did you find out about it? Walk us through the process.
Yeah, so I had kind of been considering playing again. I had offers and everything because last year went pretty well for me overseas in Spain. But I kept on finding things wrong with either contracts or places that I were going to go or things of that nature. And I kind of was unsure if I was going to go back and play. I was kind of putting it off. And once one of my friends from high school, Greg St. Jean, he's an assistant coach there, one of their GAs left to take a job for the Orlando Magic. And he messaged me like, hey, would you be interested in it? And honestly, I answered first. I was like, I don't know if I would, only because I started my master's at St. Mary's. If I was going to do my master's again, I'd probably do it there. And then I rethought it, and it was a great opportunity, a great staff, and so I took the opportunity, and I took it in October, and a week later I was there. So kind of happened all of a sudden, but that's what's been great is I haven't had to start my classes until next semester. And so, you get to ease into it and learn all the new things, and so that's been great.
So how'd that work? I mean, did you get to take a car out there, or you just
flew? And I don't have a car out there. I live close enough to campus that I walk everywhere, which is great, but it also kind of limits you. But luckily in New York, the public transportation, subway, and everything like that, you can get everywhere. So it's great.
I was just going to say, if there's maybe outside of San Francisco, San Francisco and New York, those are kind of like the two places to live where the public transportation can take you everywhere. So, you're obviously working for a Hall of Famer out there in Chris Mullen. Two of them.
Mitch Richmond
is on staff. Okay, so what has that experience been like? How much have you learned from those guys?
Well, they just bring a knowledge that not a lot of other people, their experiences and the fact that they played together, it's kind of cool. They're really good friends. They're best friends. And so playing for the two of them, and not just them, the rest of the coaching staff is smart and brings other things to the table too. So I feel like I've learned a lot because St. Mary's is obviously my only college experience, and so it's nice to get out and see how other teams run things and see how everything goes in other programs. So it's been a big learning curve for sure. I'd never done the coaching aspect for it, like taking stats during games and that stuff. I like playing in the games, but it's been great. I mean, I've learned a lot, and it's been awesome so far, and I'm just excited to keep going.
Big win for you guys a couple nights ago, too, at Syracuse. 33.
By 33.
What was it, 93-60?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, is that a rivalry out there? Because those are kind of the two most known schools in the state of New York.
So it's funny. We actually both have the slogan, and I think we are trying to that we are New York's team.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the game, there was a lot of trash talk going back and forth from the players about being New York's team, things of that nature. But we knew we had a good game plan going into that game. It was just a matter of whether we executed it or not, and our guys did an unbelievable job of executing our game plan. And I mean, I thought there was a chance that we could definitely go in there and get a win. I did not think that we were going to have the biggest Carrier Dome win of all time.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. And we needed it. We come off with a bad game, tough game against Penn State where we dropped them. We thought we should have won. And so winning that game was awesome for us.
You're back in this building. I think we spoke last year, but you're back in this building again. I mean, I'm sure there's some special memories here. Yep. A couple of your teammates' jerseys hanging the rafters here. So we're getting to the point now where you only play with a handful of guys on this team.
Crazy.
Dane, Emmett,
Calvin. Well,
yeah, Calvin was a redshirt in your senior year.
Yeah, and Emmett.
And Emmett was a
redshirting.
Yep.
But it's been crazy. What's good because I live so locally that I come up and play during the open gyms during the summers to try and stay in shape and try and help the guys out a little bit if they need numbers. But so I know all the guys still, which is great. But as far as playing with them, yeah, I mean, Dane's the only one I actually suited up with. The other two, they were redshirting, and obviously we played against each other in practice a lot. But they're all such good guys that I mean, we'll have them over to the house sometimes still. Like the guys that like Jock, I didn't know until he got here. He'll come over to the house for dinner during the summers and stuff like that. So it's just, it's such a family atmosphere. It's nice that like continues even with the guys who've already graduated.
Talked with Marty earlier today because I feel like every time I get here, Joe Rayon or somebody else, multiple people are shooting 2 hours before game time. You leave the gym, there's guys getting up shots an hour after the game, after the entire gym is cleared out. This is really a culture that was started maybe even before you got here, because just being around you guys with Deli and you and all the guys. I mean, this is a culture that's gone on for a while. These are the type of guys that Randy Bennett likes to recruit, gym rats who want to get better.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a product of Coach Bennett, and he does a great job, and that whole staff, they do a great job recruiting people that will do that. They're like, St. Mary's is known for getting guys that are talented but that are really hard workers. They may not be as talented as the guys who sign in the Big East, the ACC, that nature, but at the end of their careers, they've had as good of college careers as anybody because they put in they know they'll put the time in, they'll work their butts off, and they'll do a great job. And I mean, guys like, all these guys, you can pick any one of them, and they are all.
Jock Landale lost 20 pounds coming into this year.
Yeah, it's funny because I was working out a lot with Omar Samhan this summer, and Jock Landale's been kind of a project for him. He works out with him a lot. And both of us knew, Omar says it anytime we work out, he'd be like, this guy's going to be a problem this year. He's going to be really good. And his body changed, and he was jumping better. He's shooting better. And I was like, this guy could be really good. And he's had a great start to the season. I'm excited to see what he does once conference play starts. And it's going to be, the sky's the limit for a lot of these guys, but him especially.
Before we let you go, Beau, first half of this one, South Carolina State's pesky. They have a lot of experience playing against some really good teams on the road. I'll give you the list of the road teams they've played. Wichita State, South Carolina, Syracuse, Miami, Texas A&M, and Clemson. They only lost to Texas A&M by 7. And their zone has given St. Mary's problems offensively here.
Yeah, they when they tried to go in man-to-man, it clearly wasn't where they got the 21-7 lead. And the zone was a good change of pace for South Carolina. But, I think that St. Mary started to figure it out there towards the end of the half. And, I think they'll go on their run, and I believe that St. Mary's will win by over 15. I don't think it'll be that close.
Can we write you down for that one?
You can hold me to it. You can hold me to it.
Mark it down. Beau Levesque says St. Mary's by 15 or more. Okay.
I don't know what the Vegas number is, but I don't want to make anyone lose any money out here. But
neither do I.
Their game plan coming in the second half. They'll be ready for the zone. They'll be ready for man. They'll be prepared. So it'll be good.
Well, Beau, it was great to talk with you.
Always.
Hopefully we get a chance to catch up again here soon. And best of luck this year and going forward with wherever this new career takes you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's always fun to be back.
Absolutely. Great to see you. Beau Levesque here on the St. Mary's IMG Sports Network. We'll take another. Time to hear from the coach now, brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, a proud partner of St. Mary's Athletics. Listen, South Carolina State, like you said before the game, they played really hard, and that zone defense was particularly effective there in the first half, causing a few turnovers and getting the Bulldogs back into the game. What were the key adjustments for your club?
Well, at halftime we talked about trying to push the ball a bit. Don't let the zone get back and set up and bog us down and try and control the tempo, which is clearly what they were doing. When the ball got driven into corners and they almost trapped it and tried to deny it out, that's where we got a couple of our turnovers from. And when the ball in the high post, they swarmed down on it. We got a couple of turnovers there as well. So we looked at trying to get some points in transition and trying to open the floor, trying to flatten the zone out by throwing it ahead. And I thought we did a much better job of that. So then they went into more of an extended press to try and stop that as well. But in the end, we handled it. I didn't think we were great, but we were solid.
Yeah, I think you took advantage where you had the advantage here. Is you got Jock Landale a good number of touches. He finished with 11 shots, another double-double for him. And I think you knew you'd have the advantage in the paint in this one, and you were able to exploit it. Yeah,
in the end, I'd like to see Jock shoot the ball more.
Yeah.
We throw it in there. He's got to feel like he is a dominant force. I don't think he's quite got that yet. His numbers are always good, but that 11 shots really against a team where we had a real focus of throwing it in there. And I know they came down and doubled him from time to time, but there were times where he could have just gone up over the top and scored. And we need him to be able to do that. We need him to be able to attract the double team, and so we can throw it out to shooters. And in the end, we probably were just I thought we played a little bit cautiously, to be honest. I thought we could have thrown it up, penetrated a bit more, and thrown it in, thrown it out, and got the ball moving a little bit more than what we did. And maybe those early turnovers put some doubt in some of the players' minds.
Back to Jock. I mean, is that one of those things? Suddenly, you guys like to work the ball around until you find, a really good shot. You don't want to settle for a good shot. You want to settle for you want to have a great shot. But is that one of those things where you almost tell Jock, hey, we'll live with you taking a couple of shots down there early in the shot clock when we have a matchup that we like?
Oh, most definitely. And really the instruction is if you catch it with a foot in the paint, then we want you to score it. Now, if you're double-teamed or triple-teamed, you can't understand that. If you catch it with 2 feet outside the paint, then it's more likely that you're either going to have to try and work the score or look to throw it on. But if you catch it right down there deep right at the front of the rim, then I don't think we can get a better shot than that. I mean, he's shooting 60-something% on the year. So, it really is just a mindset of wanting to dominate opponents. And that's something that you got to work to. And he hasn't had a real history of being a huge scorer. This year he's really starting to get there. But we want that immovable object right in the middle.
Second straight game holding an opponent to under 50 points, so you got to be happy with the defensive effort tonight. You forced 13 turnovers. A lot of that was because you rebounded so well. I mean, 15 offensive boards kind of limited their chances on that side of the floor. But again, I mean, you hold another opponent to under 50 points. Your team's playing really well defensively right now, and you hold a 15-point score. I mean, really to 7 points. He got a couple of buckets there,
late in the game.
Late in the game,
Yeah, I mean, and no doubt, he was a big key for us. We knew that he was their best player. And
talking about E.J. Eves, right?
Yes, and he's a very good guard. He's quick. He's got good body control in the air, and as you saw at the end when he did get a couple of baskets, he's a handful, and I thought we did a nice job on him. But as a team, I thought we defended well, and we certainly rebounded well. And I guess the 42-16 margin probably tells that story. It's always good to be able to come out of a game and say, well, we made them take tough shots, and then we completed the possession by getting the ball back. And so 2 offensive rebounds for a game is, I mean, Coach Schroeder's got to be happy with that one. I mean, he's the rebounding coach, so it was a great job.
I thought Evan Fitzner gave you a nice shot in the arm offensively there in the first half when things were getting a little stagnant, and he was a couple of takes he had. I think maybe you want to see him do that more often when he has the opportunity.
Certainly against the zone, catching the high post, turn and face, and if they're not guarding, you'll be able to bang the shot, and if they are, being able to go around and get to the rim. And you're right. I mean, we got very stagnant there, and Fitzy was able to make a couple of buckets and just keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Talk about those 5 guys that came into the game there in the second half. You sub them out after the timeout, and then they quickly come back in. What's the message there from you guys? Because I mean, to talk about stagnant offense, they were stagnant there against the. I mean, it's a tough. That zone can put some pressure on you. As we saw, but a couple of turnovers. I mean, maybe kind of sending a message there.
It can be a tough ask to sit there for a long time and then come in as a group of 4. I think there's 4 of them plus one of the starters, but. In the end, if that's what's asked, that's what you have to deliver that. And I guess coming out after they didn't score for like 4.5 minutes.
Right.
I think we had 2 trips up and down. They went back in again. And in the end, coach is saying we trust you to play, so you got to go out there and play.
Right.
You can't be a passenger, and you can't be a person that's just going to move the ball and just not become part of the offense. And in the end, they went back and they played much better the second time around. But in the end, you have opportunities. You have to be ready to take them when they bob up. I guess that's the story of life, isn't it? I mean, if you're not ready for the opportunity, it's gone and it doesn't come back again. Lucky in a basketball game, you might get the chance to go back in.
Well, and that whole not scoring, and like we talked about the other night, it's not that black and white. I mean, it's not like they weren't scoring because they were just missing shots, but turning the ball over, and obviously that's something they did better when they came in the second time. They were able to generate some good-looking shots and score some buckets. And the big key there is not not give the ball away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first time when they were very, very generous, and in the Christmas spirit of giving, they don't give our ball to the other team. If we've got it, we can score. We want to score.
Yeah.
But I thought that again it came from just being too tentative and not really looking to throw the ball through the middle and into the heart of the zone. We're just trying to throw it around the outside. And credit to those guys. They could smell that, and they jumped out in passing lanes and had a couple of pickoffs. But as I said, much better the second time around for those guys.
Numbers look good here. I mean, just looking at the number. And I love the way that Tanner Krebs carried himself tonight. I thought this was one of the most confident he's looked in the last 4 or 5. A guy that started off in the rotation, kind of got bumped there to the back, and now maybe starting to earn some more minutes. I mean, that's for you guys, obviously, to decide. But I just thought in this one he looked more confident than he has in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I guess that's the offensive end. And the defensive end, I thought he played really well. And he's big. He can move his feet now, and he has to have confidence defensively too. You can't just be confident one end of the floor. You've got to be, you want to, I guess, intimidate some guys, and he has the size and the speed to be able to do that, and make it difficult to catch. And if they put on the floor, be able to stay in front. And he's really hard to score over because he is so big. And if he can continue doing the work on the defensive end, the offense is always going to be there for Tanner. Some days he'll make shots, some days he won't, but his confidence won't wane. And it's more making sure he continues to do the work at the defensive end that'll keep him on the floor.
Schedule the next few days, obviously week off from games now. And I know, that, like you said the other day, we're going to take a break for holidays, which is kind of unusual for a college basketball team.
It is. I mean, just the way the schedule worked out. And the league obviously changed to starting after Christmas. The last couple of years we've had the first round of league the week before Christmas, and I just think that's a difficult thing to do. I think you use Christmas as the break in the season, you do your non-conference. So they got rid of the bye weeks, and we were able to shift it back a week. So we go to LMU after Christmas, then we've got San Diego at home.
Yep.
But three days off for the players. I'm sure they won't take a full 3 days. I'm sure most of them will get out and either run or lift or shoot or do something on their own at some stage over that 3-day period.
Christmas plans for yourself?
I'll watch a bit of tape. It's actually a great time to watch basketball. When you don't have the season on top of you. I'm really looking forward to watching Delhi play. I haven't had a chance to see him and some of the others.
Got his ring the other night. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Yeah. No, it was really cool. And obviously get a chance to watch the Spurs and Paddy go and a couple of the Australians around the league that just haven't had the chance to over the last month. So most of my time will be leisure basketball, just being a fan rather than having to look at it from a coach's perspective.
This guy over here, Dane Pineau, is going to join us next. We talked about him so much over the last couple of weeks. You said he was really coming on before, and he doesn't need to score to make his impact felt. I mean, he has a nice line in this one, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, but what he does that's most important for you is on the defensive end.
On the defensive end, and makes it really tough for anyone to score. His ball screen defense is great, his post defense is great, his help defense is great. It's kind of like got 6 guys out there when Dane's on the floor because he can cover up for mistakes, or he can also create errors on the other team. And it is hard when you look at a box score to really appreciate everything he gives this team.
Yeah. Well, Marty, Merry Christmas.
Okay. And you.
Or Happy Holiday, whatever. I don't know what you celebrate. Happy Holiday. Have a great holiday weekend and a great break. And I guess we will see you next week.
Will do indeed. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, AJ.
Marty Clarke joining us on our Let's Hear from the Coach segment, brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, the proud partner of St. Mary's Basketball. Shamrock Office Solutions, delivering digital copier and technology solutions to the Bay Area for over 15 years. Visit them online at shamrockoffice.com. And we're now at the Crown Plaza player of the game. It's Dane Pineau. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. But what Marty and I were talking about, Dane, you look like you're out of breath. Are you okay?
No, I'm good.
All right, good. Just excited to be here, I guess.
I'm so pumped to see you, AJ.
Second time.
This is the only time I ever get to talk to you.
What are you talking about?
I walk by AJ in the hallway. It depends, he doesn't even know me.
Oh, jeez. We talk all the time in the airport, the hotel, man. I don't know.
I wish we could talk a little more.
I was trying to tape an interview with Tanner Krebs in Ohio, and I couldn't get you out.
One of those rare opportunities I got to talk to you.
All right, I'll be on the lookout for you. All right, well, Dane Pineau, listen, I mean, your stat line is really nice here, but what Marty and I were talking about, what you bring to this team is your work on the defensive end. Talk about your approach defensively in this one and your assignment.
Well, in this one, their point of attack is more from the guards. So I was more looking to try and help them out as best I could. So the big guys weren't as much of a factor in the offense as they were, say, the game before this one. So for me, more I was going in trying to think of like how I could help out the guards with the much tougher matchups for them than it was for me tonight. So that's what I was kind of focused on the defensive end.
Offensively, you guys got a little disjointed there. The zone bothered you a little bit there in the first half, but you came out in the second half. You made some adjustments. What was going wrong in the first half that caused the turnovers, and what was the adjustment coming out in the second half that spurred you on the run?
We were just really flat the first half, to be honest. We weren't really aggressive or assertive when we had the ball. And once we came out in the second half, kind of more, everyone was sort of looking to score more and looking to sort of attack the zone. That sort of created more open looks for us and sort of busted it open for us. So Emma hit 2 big threes, which is great too, to sort of get us rolling in the second half. And Jock came out with the second half, started really well too. So when those guys sort of got going, they kind of switched to man a little bit, and we can sort of exploit a lot more matchups when they went to man. So getting them out of the zone early was key for us.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you guys haven't shot it to where you normally shoot it the last couple games, but a lot of that is just, I mean, you're just going to have off-night shooting, right? I mean, you had plenty of good looks. It's just sometimes the ball just doesn't go in the basket as much as you want.
Yeah, no, exactly. We have great shooters as well. We have, I mean, five of these guys on the team are the best shooters I've ever played with in my life, and they're going to drop soon. I mean, they do hit threes still as it is. We have a high standard for ourselves. I mean, we're not quite meeting it right now, but they'll drop. These are shots we'll make over the course of a season that, you know, the averages always end up, you know, evening out, and I know those shots will go down soon. We love seeing our guys shoot those shots, and yeah, I'm confident they'll start going down.
I talked about it with Beau at halftime and Marty before the game.
You talked to Beau at halftime?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So you went out of your way to talk to Beau? Well, you never go out of your way to talk to me.
You're kind of busy at halftime.
Yeah, but there's plenty of other times you can come and go out of your way and have a chat with me, you know.
All right, well, we got some road trips coming up, so I'll make sure I set aside some time for Dane Pineau. How's that sound?
All right.
But, you know, when I get here before the games, we got guys shooting. When I leave now, it seems like just the work ethic has kind of spilled over into new areas now. When I leave now, an hour and a half after the game, there's still guys getting up shots. I mean, you know, this drive and this never wanting to settle for anything, always trying to get better, that's really a culture that's been established in this program here. Don't worry about that. It's okay. It's fine. If it breaks, Brian's not going to be happy with you. But that culture has really been instilled in this program since before you got here, and it's alive and well right now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a culture we're really proud of, and it's player-driven a lot as well. We have a lot of guys coming here with like sort of great attitudes, and you see Jordan Ford, he's the one you often see shooting at her after games. He's coming as a freshman, and those are the kind of guys that our coaches like to recruit, just guys who like to work hard like that, and you know, it's sort of a culture that's been built up by a lot of players before us as well. And, you know, Costelli came in and just worked so hard. He kind of inspired a lot of his teammates to do the same thing. And just following that, we've all come in and seen these other guys working so hard that you kind of want to join in on what they're doing and be a part of it. So it's a really cool thing, being a part of a team where everyone's so committed and everyone wants to do well and everyone wants to see everyone else do well as well. So it's kind of one of the reasons I think we're good is because of that kind of culture we've built up where everyone's trying to work together to be better.
Worked his way right into a ring that he got last night. You see that?
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That was really cool, and they all mobbed him.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Last one for you. Talked to Fitz about this last week. Fantasy football, Super Bowls this weekend. I know you guys got a team league. I can see the look on your face already. You're not happy. How do we end up? Who's in the Super Bowl? What's the matchup we got? Where are we watching Red Zone on Saturday?
Actually, it's Geordie versus Joe in the Super Bowl, and Geordie has had...
Hunter?
Geordie Hunter, yeah. He has had an unbelievable run to the final. He's won his last, I think, 7 games to get there, and he needed to win all of them. It was just unbelievable. And, yeah, my team underperformed when it mattered, so I'm pretty disappointed in my boys.
Where'd you end up in the regular season?
I think I don't know exactly where I ended. I know that I had the 5th most points. That's what I mostly looked at. I didn't really worry about my win-loss record. And, yeah, when it mattered, they just didn't step up to the plate. I couldn't blame the owner or the general manager at all. He was exceptional all year. Made great moves. That was myself. And, but, yeah, Joe versus Geordie, I'm rooting for Geordie. It'll be big time because Joe's head will just get so big you won't even fit through the door if he wins. Yeah, it's pretty exciting, though. It's been a lot of fun, though.
I know it's a big topic of conversation. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Me and him, it's been, highly debated whose team's been better. And it's possible that I now have to buy Emmett a ring because he beat me in one of our matchups. It's very serious. We take it very serious.
So does he take the mustache and the fantasy football hammer over you now? I know you'll claim the mustache.
He did not take the mustache. I don't think anybody said that. But unfortunately, he does take fantasy football. His team is actually much better than mine. I don't know why I made the bet, but anyway, not that I bet. It's college sports.
Hey, you didn't come in last. That's the big point, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, hey, Dane, Merry Christmas. I hear you got your dad in town here, so it's going to be nice to spend the holidays with your family. And Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks very much, AJ.
Dane Pineau, our Crown. I'll make some time for you on the road. Dane Pineau, our Crown Plaza player of the game, brought to you by Crown Plaza Concord, the hotel choice for St. Mary's Athletics.